Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special live Argentina discussion. I'm, of course, not alone. Osvaldo Godoy. First of all, my name is Roy Nemer of Mundo Albiceleste.com, joined, of course, by Osvaldo Godoy, also of Mundo Albiceleste.com. And Osvaldo is in a very special place tonight, very special location for Osvaldo. Not at home. No. He's elsewhere. Osvaldo, where are you, and how are you?
I'm good, Roy. I'm so glad to be in this live. We're here at the Hard Rock Stadium. Take a look at it. In just 2 hours, a little bit less than 2 hours, Inter Miami is going to be playing here against Palmeiras. It's going to be the last match day of the group. And I mean, we're going to dive into Inter Miami, into this match in particular, but also all the other matches in this Club World Cup that, in my opinion, and I think I talked to you about this, Roy, it surprised many of us. I wasn't having too many expectations, and I just can't stop watching every single game that there is in this Club World Cup.
It's been nuts. It's been an incredible tournament, not just for Argentine players, and we're going to talk about the clubs, Boca, River, of course. But it's been a fun tournament to watch, especially if you follow South American clubs, not necessarily just Argentina, but Brazil as well. It's been very fun. Osvaldo, we know where you're watching from. I'm going to be watching it from home. Everybody in the comments, let us know down below where you're watching from. We already have more than a couple. Kostinias from Akron, Ohio. Sean Cherry. Sean, hello, guys. Stay blessed from West Palm. David, big hello and blessings from Western Sydney, Australia. God bless you, my friend, and Matthias as well. Hello, and BC from NYC. All right, Osvaldo, we could tell the stadium is slowly, very slowly, beginning to to fill up with fans. We're just under 2 hours away from kickoff. How is it outside the stadium? I know you were telling me parking was not very easy.
It wasn't. I mean, here they haven't opened the stadium yet for fans, just for media. That's why we're kind of the only ones there with the security people. But outside, there's so many jerseys, so many people from Palmeiras. I believe that you're gonna be the home team today here, even though we're in Miami. I mean, to Miami is playing today.
Palmeiras. So I'll talk for just a couple of seconds here. A very good friend of mine is a Palmeiras fan. I was telling you this, Osvaldo, a couple of days ago. He went to both their games. He's not going to be there tonight. He went to both their games. Funny enough, the round of 16 match, if Palmeiras win, is going to be in Chicago. Sorry, in Philadelphia. And he was telling me, "Come to the game. Come to the game. We're going as a group." So a group from Canada, about 12 people, 14 people. When he went to the first game in New York or New Jersey at MetLife, they took over Times Square, and they were the home team. So I kind of expect that, like you said, Osvaldo, they might be the majority of fans tonight, might be Palmeiras fans. And you know, side note, I do have a Palmeiras jersey. There's absolutely no way I was gonna wear that tonight. But no, I could see them being the home crowd favorites.
Yes, and the truth is that even though Brazil is the main rivalry of Argentina, they
Yeah,
live football in a very similar way that we do. And there's also in Miami and in Florida, there's a lot of Latinos, a lot of Brazilians, a lot of Argentinians. So it
yeah.
makes sense. The same way Boca and also River played, of course, it wasn't here in Florida, it was in the other coast. The stadiums get full of Argentinians, in this case Brazilians, and on the other side, into Miami, uh, it's really a club with not much history. They have Messi, yes, and a lot of other good players, with Busquets, Luis Suarez, Jordi Alba. Um, but the people that live here, they already get the chance to see them on a weekly basis, more or less,
Yeah.
when they play at home. So that's why I was surprised the first match into Miami played against the Egyptian team, because there were more Egyptians than really locals here at the stadium.
Yeah, that first match, Inter Miami versus Al Ahly, that was, like you said, a lot of Reds in the stadium. You were at the game, you were sending me pictures and videos, and also on YouTube and on MundoAlbiceleste.com. And there were a lot of red jerseys, more than pink. The second match in Atlanta, that one maybe a little bit more Inter Miami fans. Tonight might be split a little bit, maybe 50-50, or the advantage goes to Palmeiras. But no, the crowds, it has to be said, and maybe we could talk a little bit about the game and what's coming up, and then, of course, the Boca Juniors and River fans. But whenever there's a South American team involved, the atmosphere has been tremendous, whether it's Flamengo or Palmeiras, Botafogo, of course, and Botafogo involved in a great match versus PSG. Boca, River. I mean, you hear the what fans were saying, what players were saying between Boca and Bayern. That game, the fans there, that was incredible. And you
It
were there.
was a
You were
great. I was in the Boca Bayern. It was even, in my opinion, better than the atmosphere in the Boca Benfica. It was just crazy. And Bayern Munich is a club that they brought a lot of people, and it's Bayern
Mhm.
Munich, one of the best teams in the world. But just the way that South American and Argentinians and Brazilians too live football is very different. As you were saying, today probably it's gonna be divided in half the stadium, half Inter Miami Messi fans and half Palmeiras. But you will hear way more to the Palmeiras fans just because of the way they live football. Um, and that's also something I'm happy as a Boca Juniors fan, for example, that we talk about this way, how these last past years Boca wasn't playing that well. But the way that the players show that energy that the fans show from the stands, most cases traveling all the way from Argentina in 9, 10 hours flight. That's something that at least me as a Boca Juniors fans, and I know that many Boca Juniors fans that I was able to talk with, were very proud of.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And especially as you mentioned, specifically Boca, the form that Boca was in going into the Club World Cup, not a very good form. And they haven't been playing well either. So, and I'll bring this up comment here from Matias saying, nothing like us Boca fans. Very true. I mean, Boca fans are special. Looking at this here, Keanu Ruiz saying at the entry gates, I would say 60% green and 40% pink. Keanu Ruiz also at the game, asking if he's going to
He
see it there.
is. He is. I think I saw he posted a comment on YouTube in one of the shorts we've been posting about Boca, about Inter Miami, and he said that he was gonna be here. So that's great, man.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Going back to Matias saying Argentines thus far have been the shining stars of this tournament. And of course, Matias being biased. And Mr. Happy saying hello. He's late, or they're late. Or he's late, sorry. No worries, Mr. Happy. Now, getting into the actual match, Inter Miami kind of hit or miss a little bit throughout the tournament. Not the best. Messi himself said it after the match, saying, they didn't play the best versus Porto and they're up against big teams. And he said Palmeiras is a difficult team. How do you see this match going? Do you expect Inter Miami to win, or Palmeiras probably gets the win here?
I think I think Palmeiras is the favorite in this match. But same way probably Porto was the favorite against Inter Miami. You never know in football, especially in this Club World Cup where there's so many surprises. Something that it's interesting to talk about, Roy, is that even if Inter Miami loses today against Palmeiras and Porto wins, which you expect to be the most logical thing, Inter Miami, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Roy, but Inter Miami still qualifies because they beat Porto. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not sure how the head to head works, or how the tiebreak, excuse me, works. Now, what I do know is obviously Inter Miami, like you said, they beat Porto. So if it is head to head, then Inter Miami go through. If it's goal difference, then maybe not. Inter Miami presently +1 goal difference and Porto -1. So there's a two
so
goal difference there.
So I was reading today because it can be very confusing in this tournament in particular. And for example, the group that just finished, we can talk also later about Atletico Madrid of the Argentinians. They all tied in six: Botafogo, Atletico, and PSG.
PSG.
And Atletico Madrid was the one that was out, but that's because it was a three-team tie in the first two spots.
Uh,
So when that happens, I believe that they do a goal difference between the matches of those three competing each other. It's very difficult to understand and it's
yeah.
difficult to explain. So in this case in particular, you won't see a triple tie because
Yeah.
if you see the standings and then you can pull up the standings draw if you want, um, there's no chance for that to happen. The only way Inter Miami can be out of this Club World Cup is by losing today and Al Ali winning today against Porto.
Yeah, which in all likelihood probably was not going to happen. In all likelihood, maybe not. Definitely not. But you mentioned Atletico Madrid and what cost them. I mean, you said three teams on 6 points. That 4-0 loss versus PSG. That was the big one for Paris, even though they got the 1-0 win versus Botafogo today. But Atletico kind of shooting themselves in the foot over there. But I agree with you. I think Palmeiras get the win today. I'll give a prediction for what it's worth. I'm thinking maybe 3-1 Palmeiras, if that. If Inter scores, I can see it being from something Messi does. But the way Inter Miami have been defending in this tournament has not been great. Really, really not been great.
The tie gives Palmeiras the qualification as number one.
Yeah,
Now let's think also about this. I think they play against the first and the second in the group of Botafogo and PSG.
correct. Yes,
And
correct. Go ahead.
yes, and PSG is first. So it's important for these teams to try to qualify first.
Oh yeah, 100%, and it's gonna be difficult because if you qualify first, whoever qualifies first between Palmeiras and Inter, assuming those are the two teams, will play Botafogo, and whoever finishes second is gonna play Paris. So either way, you're either gonna play the reigning Libertadores champions or you're gonna play the reigning Champions League champion. It's gonna be difficult, either way, and it's just a matter of can Inter, in their own way, continue to write history with Messi, of course, and make it to the next round of the Club World Cup? That's going to be the big one. Now we'll get to the comments, and then we'll move on over to River Plate and Boca. Matias saying Palmeiras a much more complete team. Miami is Messi plus Motley Crue. Keanu Ruiz, good point, but I do think by the end, if it's tied, both teams will coast and accept the draw. Mr. Happy saying 4-1. Thomas Vocero, welcome Thomas, talking about Claudio Echeverri, who of course scored his first goal for Manchester City. And Mohamed saying, yes, Inter would face B2. Keanu, Miami improved their defense. Porto only created 1 or 2 chances. Watching live from the stadium, maybe had a little bit too much to drink, says Keanu. And of course, tomorrow, Lionel Messi's birthday in just a couple of hours. So big happy birthday to him. Sagar mentioning that. And Nino's going for Palmeiras. Respectfully. Now, if we get to the Argentine club, specifically, let's say River Plate, if we get to that, River Plate all but secured qualification. They're on 4 points, along with Inter Milan, both of them on 4 points. River play Inter, whereas Monterrey, who are on 2 points, play Urawa Red Diamonds. How have you made River Plate tournament so far, Osvaldo?
I think that in the places they had to beat Monterrey. Now they have to look for a tie against Inter, and you know how difficult that might be, even though Inter is not playing a great tournament at all. I've talked with some River Plate fans, and they're not very happy to how River Plate have performed. Not even in that win against Urawa. They're just not happy of how Gallardo's team has been playing in the last semester. And the truth is that if you compare it to Boca played Benfica and Bayern, and River Plate play Urawa and Monterrey. It's two totally different quality of rivals. But I don't know if you watched the match against Monterrey from River, but that was a battle. That was also a battle in the stands between a lot of Mexicans that went to that game and all the River Plate fans. It was, for me, even though it was 0-0, it was one of the most entertaining matches for me to watch.
Oh, it was a very, very entertaining match, and you said it. It really was a fight. It was a fight on the pitch, and unfortunately off the pitch as well in the stands. We saw the scenes there. River Plate, not again, as you said it, not particularly playing well, yet they're getting the points, they're getting the win. And ironically enough, that's something that a lot of people have complained about. Boca. Boca historically maybe don't play as well or don't play as pretty, but get the win. In this case, it's River Plate. But congratulations to them. They're not yet confirmed a spot in the next round, but they play Inter, who, as you said, is not playing well. Inter, 3 goals so far in this tournament, all 3 by Argentine players, 2 by Lautaro and 1 by Valentin Carboni. They've been disappointing. If we're talking about Inter specifically, I think they've been very disappointing so far.
Yes. The problem with River Plate was that in that group, the only result that really surprised everybody was Monterrey drawing with Inter. Because then it was kind of logical of River Plate to beat the Japanese team, even though they didn't play that well. And then the tie. I mean, Monterrey also. I mean, I think from Mexico, you could say that the Argentina has more in terms of players than Mexico, but in terms of their leagues and the money that those leagues have,
They have money.
Mexico has more budget than Argentina league for sure.
By far, no, no, Mexico, and congratulations to them. The Mexican League, Liga MX, they have money. They have money. They've always kind of attracted South American players. So congratulations to them. It's and you would kind of expect that this was a difficult group. I'll be honest. I expected Inter to qualify as first, and then second would have been either River or Monterrey. But congratulations to River for even getting this far in terms of potentially qualifying as first in the tournament, in the group. Excuse me.
Yeah, even the Japanese team is strong. It's hard.
Yeah,
They made it very difficult for Inter. So it's a group that whoever you play against is gonna be a battle.
100%, 100%. Talking about the other team from Argentina, one very, very close to your heart, Osvaldo, and then very close to the heart, it seems like, of a lot of people here in this chat. Boca Juniors, at least on paper, and I agree with you, Osvaldo, the more difficult group if we're comparing Boca and River. Boca with Bayern, with Benfica, Auckland City. That's the one, I think everybody kind of expects to get a lot of goals against them. But 2-2 draw versus Benfica, where Boca, they threw that match away. They should have won that.
Yes, yes. It's hard because if you asked me before the Club World Cup that Boca was gonna tie with Benfica and then lose just by one goal with Bayern Munich, I would have signed it with both hands. I
Yeah.
mean, it was a perfect scenario. But then if you see, especially that first game against Benfica, how we were 2-0 up in the first half, and the way we ended up tying that game, it's every day I regret it more. I'm sure the players too, because we were 2-0 up with just two plays that we were able to score, and then that dumb penalty almost about to finish the first half with the VAR that Otamendi smartly generated, then Di Maria scoring the goal, and then the second half we played it in a way that it wasn't much played at all, and I was happy
Yeah.
because of that, and that's how it had to be played, to be honest. But it wasn't enough, and in a corner kick, Otamendi came completely alone and scored the 2-2. Um, because, yeah, just because of the way the match was, you would think that that was our key to the round of 16, because then you have Auckland City, that is the team that has less budget in the tournament. They're a semi-pro team, um, and the truth is that Bayern beat them 10-0, Benfica beat them 6-0, and hopefully Boca needs to beat them at least 6 or 7-0, and also expect the result from Bayern Munich once we beat Benfica.
That's it. No, exactly, 100%. Just going back, and going back to Boca versus Benfica. Matias saying that referee killed that game, and Mohamed saying Boca and River have substitution problems. Coach made horrible subs in the last games, but specifically Boca Benfica. That penalty right before halftime, I think that really changed things around for Benfica, gave them that lifeline to ultimately get back into the game. But versus Bayern, it has to be said, Boca, Bayern maybe created more chances in the first half, but Boca in that second half, they could have scored a couple. They really could have scored a couple.
Yes, yes, but to be honest, I mean, Bayer was just too much for Boca. Too much.
Of course.
Um, they had a couple of goals that were disallowed, but one by an offside, one by a foul. If it was an offside, it was a foul. But still, Bayer could have also beat Boca 4-5-0 in that game.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. Watching it here from the stadium, I'm gonna tell you something. Hopefully, the guys from FIFA media are not watching. But I was for media goes to a specific press box where you can see the match. Kind of not in the tribune. It's like a press box, and you really can't hear much the fans. And I'm a big Boca Juniors fan. And I'm like, I'm not gonna lose this. I went to the tribune, I went to the stands, and I lived the match as a Boca Juniors fan. And it was incredible. The Merentiel goal, no one was expecting it. We were closer to get another to concede another goal than Boca to score, and the goal that he scored, it was incredible.
What one of the goal really? I don't know if it's the goal of the tournament, but it's certainly up there. It's certainly up there, and to do it against Bayern of all teams, to score past Neuer, that's something. That's something. A great goal by Merentiel. 2-1. It could have been more, as you said, from Bayern, but in a weird way, Boca could have even gotten the draw. Now the big game is the last game versus Auckland City, as you mentioned, kind of a semi-professional players, not full-time football players for them. I'm looking at the goal difference: Benfica +6, Boca -1. So Boca need, on paper, at least right now, 7 goals to draw even, 8 to take the advantage. But if Benfica get a draw against Bayern, that's it.
Yeah. Yes, it's crazy. It sounds crazy for a team to score that amount of goals, but I watched the Benfica Auckland City match because I was begging for Auckland to resist as much as they could, and I mean I know how to say it in a good way, but Auckland City is really it's not a professional team.
Mm.
Um, we can, I really believe, and I'm sure Boca Juniors players also believe that they can easily score at least 5 goals. Uh, and I'm not just saying it because I'm a Boca fan. Bayern Munich scored 10 against them. Benfica scored 6 against them. And they, in the first half, Benfica had so many chances that they just hit the post, the crossbar. The Auckland City was very lucky until in the second half they stopped being lucky and Benfica scored almost all the goals. But
Yeah.
I think
Oh, no,
I
it
really
ended
believe
what? It ended, I think, 1-0. I mean, the match was stopped due to rain between Benfica and Auckland, but
like two
it
hours,
was
yeah.
1-0, I think, going into halftime. So they resisted a lot. They resisted, but
1-0 out of a penalty that was, I don't know if you saw that foul, but that was with VAR. I don't know how they still sanction that penalty. Um, but again, I think it's doable.
look, it is doable, but it's gonna depend as well, of course, on Benfica Bayern. What happens there? That's gonna be the
Hundred
big thing.
percent,
That's gonna
hundred
be the big
percent.
thing.
Something that makes me a little bit more relieved is that Germany, Bayern Munich. I saw it the other day. Like they seem to be robots, machines, just wanting to kill the other team. That's the matter. They don't care about the if they need 1 point, 3 points. They will just go there, play the
They
best
keep going.
football, and they will want to win. And Vincent Company, actually, I was listening today to a comment from Kun Agüero. He's doing a show on
Yeah.
ESPN, and he was saying how he played with Vincent Company, and Company also has that mentality, apparently. Uh, so I just think that Bayern Munich is gonna go for the win. Will go for the win. I think that Bayern Munich is way better than this Benfica, and I think both things are doable. Then, of course, it's football and it has to happen, but I think it's doable.
No, it's certainly doable. It's certainly doable from an Argentina standpoint. Hopefully, it happens. Of course, hopefully it happens. Has to be said, by the way, for Benfica and Bayern. I mean, Benfica have Di Maria, Bayern have Musiala and Olis. All three of them lead the Club World Cup. They each have 3 goals. So Di Maria, Olis, and Musiala each have 3 goals. They lead the Club World Cup in goals. After that, Lautaro Martinez with 2, and he's tied with a bunch of other people, a bunch of other players as well. Um, so it'll be interesting to see. Of course, that match takes place on Tuesday. Boca and Auckland and Benfica Bayern. That takes place on Tuesday. Um,
Argentina has to be the country with more goal scorers, or no, or like with more goals
I, as a nation or as a club, you talking about as a
as a
nation?
nation, as a nation, as a nation.
As a nation, Argentina has a. I mean, we posted this on Mundo, but Argentina has 13 different players that have scored goals. 10 scored 1 goal each, and then Lautaro, Di Maria, and or sorry, 11 scored 1 goal each, and then Lautaro and Di Maria. So I believe so. I don't think a nation has scored more goals than that at the Club World Cup.
We
Excuse me.
have to see if Bayern Munich, those 10 goals were scored by German players. I don't know.
I mean, Kingsley Coman's French, we know that. Muller
Okay,
scored two, Musiala scored three. So
okay.
there's a couple. There's a couple in there.
But that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Jose, welcome, Jose. This is awesome. Shout out to Roy and Osvaldo. Shout out to you, Jose. Thank you for joining. Rian and Rihanna, hi to the both of you, all the way from Nepal. George, of course, welcome, George. Thank you so much for joining. Rian and Rihanna, 100% agree. With the South American teams, the Club World Cup has extra charm. It certainly has. Overall, Osvaldo, I know you haven't stopped watching the games. I've only missed, I think, 4 games so far, 4 or 5 games this entire tournament. I've really watched pretty much practically every single match. Who to you stands out as the favorites? I know it's still early, we're still in the group, but if we're talking maybe favorites, they can go far. Like is it Bayern? Is it Botafogo? Is it Flamengo? Is it Boca? I mean, who for me, for me, it's got to be Palmeiras, Botafogo, even Flamengo. The three Brazilian teams, and Bayern, and of course, you cannot count out PSG.
Yeah. Although the South Americans are doing great in this tournament, I don't know if they are ready to really win the whole thing. Hopefully, I hope it happens. I also don't know if I would be happy if a Brazilian wins it. So I don't know if I prefer an European wins it or a Brazilian. I don't know about you, Roy, but I think that Manchester City, it's been a solid team so far. They haven't played great teams yet. It's gonna be interesting to see them play against Juventus. There's gonna be a Claudio Echeverri against Nicolas Gonzalez.
Yeah.
On that note, I hope that Echeverri continue having some minutes. Yesterday he scored a great free kick goal. Um, but I would like to see also, yeah, South American at least get to the semifinals. If you ask me before the Club World Cup, uh, I thought that out of the six teams that qualified to the round of 16, I would have said 12, 13 were going to be Europeans. And I don't know if half of them are going to be Europeans.
I don't know. It's funny, and going back a little bit to originally what you said early on in terms of, would you be happy if a Brazilian team wins it? Would you be happy if a European team wins it? I've seen a lot. I've seen, and we kind of tend to see this sometimes during the World Cup, but uh, I've seen South American fans of different teams of different countries really kind of all come together and say, no, 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 like South America is where football is at. You buy our players, but South America is where the football is really, really played. And if it comes down to it, would I prefer a European team to win the Club World Cup or a Brazilian? It's that thing where I hope both teams lose, but in a weird way, in a very, very weird way, if it's a Brazilian team and a European team, I probably would want the Brazilian team to win.
It's funny because when they play the Nations World Cup, the real World Cup, you would never want Brazil to win.
No,
But,
no.
but the other day in the Botafogo PSG, I see so many comments on X and Twitter of Argentinians really wanting Botafogo to beat PSG.
Yeah. Oh, completely, completely. And it's funny because even the my Brazilian friend, the Palmeiras fan, whom I mentioned earlier, he despises Boca. Like, he really, really despises Boca from the Riquelme days and the Libertadores in 2001. He's a big hater.
He suffered a
But
couple of defeats.
he suffered some big defeats. Yes, he did. But even him, when we were talking a couple of days ago, and just about how well South American teams are doing and everything, and it was the day before Boca played Bayern, and I said we want South America to win. He said yes. I said even Boca, right? And he said we want South America to win. So even that for me was like wow. It's because there's always that Europe is better than South America. In my opinion, it's not. It's really, really not. But like you said, if this was a World Cup, I would not want I would not want Brazil to win the World Cup. Absolutely not.
No. And also, Botafogo has a couple of Argentinians.
Yes.
Palmeiras have Agustin Jai. Fluminense have Germán Cane. There's some Argentinians.
Let's put it this way: Fluminense as well, I believe. Every Brazilian team has an Argentine player. I think even Fluminense. I'm trying to remember, but if I'm not mistaken, at least 3 of the 4 Brazilian teams have
Fluminense
a
has
player in the team.
Germán Cano. I don't know Flamengo. I
There
know
you go.
Flamengo.
Flamengo, Germán Rossi.
Agustin,
Agustin Rossi, sorry, I said Germán.
oh,
Agustin.
all Brazilians.
So they all have the goalkeeper, yeah, they all have. So, I mean, there you go. It's fun. Whereas in Europe, I mean, I don't know. Like, do you really want Manchester City to win the Club World Cup? Do you want PSG? Maybe not as much, you know. And bring this up here, Joao Vitor. South America is together in this cup, and that's awesome. It really is. At times, it really has felt South America or South America and the rest of the world versus Europe. It's been that fun. Um, Matias, Botafogo and Boca will show some average fans what South American footy is all about. The Cinderellas of this tournament, very possible. George, suerte para ustedes, los bosteros. Osvaldo para aguante Racing. So much love to you, but let's go Racing. And Joao, shout out from Brazil, hardcore Argentina fans. Thank you for that, Joao. Thank you for joining. Much love to you. Um, and Rian saying Mbappe should have been here so he can know how South American clubs play. That was an interesting to see. Um, but yeah, we'll see. You know, it's still early on in terms of potentially who could win it. But if it were up to me, if it's Europe or South America, I want South America over Europe. Over Europe.
It's true. You convince me. I have to tell you that you convince me.
There you go. There you go. On that note, was there anything else, Osvaldo, you kind of wanted to discuss? I know maybe you have to get going as well. It's still a little bit before the game, but anything you wanted to touch upon before we wrap things up?
I'm trying to think. I mean, we talked about Echeverry's goal. We talked, well, Lautaro Martinez, Valentin Carboni also scored for Inter. There's so many Argentinians scoring. It's
There's,
uh, it's a shame that Atletico de Madrid, with all those Argentinians, have to be disqualified of the tournament today.
yeah.
The truth is that Simeone mentioned it. I don't know if it's as an excuse, if you take it or not, but he said we're in the group with the Libertadores champions, the Champions League champions. They even beat one of them, and they were not able to qualify. The truth is that that 4-0 lose, as you were saying, Roy, that can't happen to a team like Atletico Madrid.
No, you can't. It absolutely cannot. That was the big one for me. And it could have been worse. I mean, PSG played significantly better than Atletico. And the argument you could even make for those that are saying, oh, well, you know, European teams are tired and whatnot. PSG had just played the Champions League final. You know, Atletico was relatively rested. But no, that match, or that defeat, sorry, that was a big one for Atletico. The big takeaway for me is, and maybe it's a little bit too specific, but someone like Agustin Guy with Palmeiras, he's done well in this tournament. I followed him on and off with Palmeiras. He tends to play well. He's been in very good form for a long time now. Argentina need a right back. Molina has barely gotten any minutes with Atletico, and when he has played, and I love Molina, we both do, everybody does. He has not been playing well in this tournament for Atletico this entire season.
On the left back position, I want you to take a look at Lautaro Blanco. He's been
Yes,
playing very well this tournament.
yeah,
I know Acuna was also selected as in the team of the week. He made 2 assists in
yes.
the match against the Japanese team, but he also committed a foul. But Lautaro Blanco is still young. He can still be a good future player for the Argentina national team.
Oh, completely. And Acuna's what, 34 now, 35, I think, something like that. And even though he was in the team of the week, the first team of the week, in a weird way, I don't think he played particularly well in that game. Yes, he had 2 assists, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't a great game overall from him. But I mean, he got the assist and got delivered the win. So at the end of the day, that's what counts the most. But you know, if someone like Blanco, if someone like Agustin Guy, if they could get in the team, who knows? You know, Alexander Barbosa, Botafogo, center back. So there are some options there. There are some options, and you know, overall, I'm enjoying the Club World Cup, and I love it that even some of the European fans on X who don't normally watch South America, don't know anything about the game, they're even being surprised, which I love to see. I really
That's
do.
it.
Yeah. On that note, Osvaldo and everybody, I want to say a big thank you for everybody for joining us. Osvaldo, you're at the Hard Rock. Hopefully it's not too hot. Hopefully there's no rain.
No, and I'm here in the shade, so it's good so far. And I'll tell you something else. For the people that were outside of the stadium, it was really hot. They were trying to look for any tree to just get under the tree and get some shade because it is really hot.
Wow. Wow. All right. So you got to stay hydrated. You got to stay cool, Osvaldo, during the game. Here's to hoping Lionel Messi gets a goal or two or three or four, and Inter Miami qualify for the next round of the Club World Cup. Hopefully. That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. On that note, I want to say a big thank you to everybody for joining. Osvaldo, of course, a big thank you to you for being able to make it and going to the game as well, enjoying it. Hopefully you enjoy it. If you guys are new to the channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications button. We got a lot of stuff coming up. As always, my name is Roy Nemer of Mundo Albiceleste.com, joined by Osvaldo Godoy, also of Mundo Albiceleste.com, and this time from the Hard Rock at the stadium, Inter Miami versus Palmeiras. Lionel Messi versus Palmeiras as well. Big thank you to everybody. Until next time, take care, everybody.